Hello and welcome to TransforMATTIve. I am joined today by the incredible Alice Miller.
Hi,
Hello,
so
Alice.
great to be here.
Thank you so much for being a part of this new and kind of crazy project that we're throwing together, but one
Yeah,
that we're
thank you
very,
for inviting me.
of course. Well, I couldn't resist after you had a great audition reel and you sent it in and you had a strong idea about family, and I really wanted to run with that. Not
Mhm,
just for therapy reasons, but also for other situations. But would you
mhm.
like to tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I've never actually met you before.
Yeah, sure. So, hi, my name is Alice Miller. I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina. I was raised there. I moved to New York right after I graduated high school to pursue acting. I enrolled in an acting conservatory, the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I went there for 2 years. I just graduated in April, so I'm still kind of, yeah. Thank you. I'm still,
Congratulations.
thank you. So I'm just, I'm kind of working everything out. After that is my first time kind of not being enrolled in some sort of school or program. So, yeah,
I mean,
that's
in its
pretty
own way,
much.
this whole show is its own kind of education and program. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
I hope that you get something out of this as well, because it's going to be a fun experience for a lot of us.
I agree.
And yeah, is this your first show you're doing after kind of graduating, or?
On stage, yes, I did a feature film in May that I had gotten previously before I graduated. And that's done. That's coming out in December. I'm very excited about that. But no, this is my first stage production since I graduated school.
Excellent.
So it's kind of like my first, yeah, it's like my first official stage performance outside of a school. So I'm very excited.
I'm very excited to have you. I think it's going to be your monologue in particular is a very fine line. So
Mhm.
I am excited to see what you do with it. And yeah, just kind of approaching the monologue, I know that you'd had some questions for me. Were
Mhm.
there any concerns or anything coming into this that you wanted to ask about, or?
I mean, just um not, I mean, not many. I think personally I want to work with any sort of challenge that's being thrown at me. I kind of want to practice that, like, okay, like this may not be exactly meant for me. This may not be like a character that's very similar to me, but I do want to figure out how I can like personalize what's important to them and then bring that into myself. The one thing was I was reading through it again today, and it does say, like, at the beginning it's like, I love my family, I do, they're great, and I hate them. And then
Yeah.
at the end I say, this makes it sound like I hate my family, but I don't. And then so that was just one thing I was kind of like, okay, we might want to like specify that. Am I okay with saying I hate them? Or am I just kind of like, I would do anything to not say I hate them? You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
get that. I get that entirely. Language has a very particular way of is this emphatic or is this literal? Like, do I actually
Mhm.
hate them or do I love them and I say I hate them? Because like
Right.
as you get older, your relationship with your family kind of evolves and changes. And there's moments where you love them, and there's moments where you're just like, oh, I'm so thankful for you. And there's moments where I'm just like, I am so sick of you guys.
Hmm.
I just want out. So
Hmm.
there's it's this monologue's kind of all about that teeter-totter of being like, oh, they were so great. And I didn't know the particular makeup of your family, so I kind of just went with mine and superimposed it onto yours.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
you want to change the gender of the sibling, you can. If you have siblings, if you don't, that's fine.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm just curious to know what is your family makeup in regards to your home life?
So I have I lived with my mom, my dad, and my little brother. So I have a little brother who's about 4 years younger than me. My mom and my dad, they're my biological parents. They've been together forever. Um, and yeah, I mean, I truly love my family. They're like the most important. thing in my life. Like I use them for everything. Like if any sort of personalization I need, I kind of use them in a sense, which which I'm excited to work on this monologue for, because like I know I'm not going to get cast, you know, all the time as someone who has a great relationship with their family. So I think I this is nice. I want to see how I can personalize this without using my real parents, because I love my family. I'll never say anything bad about them. So I'm excited to see what I can do to make this personal for myself, but also not use my actual family, because I don't want to, you know, put like kind of make myself picture my family in a bad light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get entirely what you're saying. You don't want to make your family feel awkward. My big challenge with this monologue is I do actually love my family. I want to make
Hmm.
that very clear.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
none of this is them, but it's also them and my relationship, and I can still love my family and appreciate them, but also have very complicated relationships and very complicated feelings about a
yes.
lot of things that happen, especially like as you get older, more and more things develop and you become your more of your own person. And you know, I know no spoilers for you or anything, but like,
Mhm.
you know, family is very important. Family is great, but you're always
Yes.
going to be at least a little frustrated with them. So
I no, I so agree. I
yeah,
so agree. And so that's why I was just kind of like, do I want to say I hate them, or do I want to like kind of express what I wish they would do, rather you know, like what characteristics I wish I could change about them, um
I would
instead
say
of
for the sake of theater, always go with the stronger emotion
yes.
and don't shy away from. Before we even get to the monologue, maybe it's good to talk about this,
Right,
but
yeah.
like, it doesn't have to be a literal emotion of just like, ooh, hate you so much, like
Mhm.
Witch in the Tower cursing the Smurfs or whatever. But it
Right.
can you can have that whole feeling of being like, oh, just the frustration and just like, oh, I love them and I hate them. Like
Mhm.
there's you can have both. You can love and hate. You can want and not want. You can
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
relationships are fun. And that's what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
yeah. Whenever you're
That's
ready, feel free to dive in. If you have any more questions for me, I'm happy to go over them.
sure. I don't at the moment. I'm sorry if you hear any sort of barking or anything. Our walls are kind of thin in the
That's
apartment.
fine. Don't worry about it.
Perfect.
My
All right.
partner's right there judging us accordingly. So,
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
yeah.
All right. I love my family. Really. They're great. They're wonderful. And I hate them. My mom is so loving. She still thinks of me as her little girl, in the sense that she feels like she can still comment on my clothing attire and my choice of partner. She still thinks she can control me and force me to call her every day. And when I do, she never picks up, and then guilts me the next day for calling her during the 1 hour she was busy, when she never tells me when she's doing anything. But she's so supportive in her own way. I mean, she never fails to tell me all the ways in which my family is doing great, so she keeps me in the loop, sort of. One day she'll tell me maybe what the real job I should be doing is, because she clearly doesn't think that much about my current one. My dad is great. He's so smart and intelligent and always right. Wing. His views on politics are well established, and he'll tell you about them all the time. It doesn't matter if we're in the store or in the theater or even when we're just grabbing a bite to eat. He'll be happy to tell you all about what he thinks of the multitude of people around him from all over, all the time. I mean, on the one hand, you gotta love his confidence, but just once, I'd love to be able to go out and not have to worry about his diatribes influencing the opinions of everyone he encounters. My sister is so much. She brings a muchness into my life that I didn't realize I needed. I mean, I frequently don't need it. I don't even want it. But there she is, bringing it always, and just never shutting up about her problems. There are there are some who might say she's petty or vindictive or self-centered or chaotic. This makes it sound like I hate my family, and I don't. I really don't. But sometimes.
Very nicely done.
Thanks.
I do you are taking it a little quickly right now.
Okay.
And because this is a comedic monologue, a lot of times our instincts can shift to being like, oh, we want to fast forward through this because it's funny if it's. But with this, a lot of the humor is going to come from you taking the pauses and feeling the frustration. So
Okay.
there's a difference between uh, everything you're doing right now is perfectly fine. It's very good. You're solid. I don't have anything complex to say about performance. I'm just going to notes to be things that can
Yeah.
kind of bring the jokes out more and to
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
develop your own gravitas. Because
Mhm.
one of the key things I always instruct people on is some of the best performers you'll ever meet are drag queens because they know how to take attention and hold it. And this is
Mhm.
very much in that era, that realm of drag queenness, where right now you're playing it very straight, which is good. Not,
Mhm.
what. Anyway, I
I
love
know
my,
what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. So I love my family. Really, they're great. They're wonderful, and I hate them. As opposed to, I love my family. Really, they're great. They're wonderful, and I hate them.
Mhm.
Right?
I see.
Yeah, almost the whole idea of you love them, but you can get frustrated with people sometimes.
Mhm.
Almost in that situation with lovers, with friends, any relationship that has a lot of history will have tension to it.
I agree. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and this monologue is all about that tension. And there is a lot of spaces to get really warm and fuzzy. Like for
Mm.
instance, my mom is so loving. She still thinks of me as her little girl. And then it turns in the sense that she feels like she can comment on my clothing attire and my choice of partner. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
finding those moments of just genuine warmth, and the warmth never goes away, but it gets stressed.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I see.
How do you feel about
Yeah.
that as the idea? Or
No, I like that. I like the sort of push and pull from it. The kind of like the like I like the where there's parts I can lean into the ways that it's like, oh, of course I love them. They're my family. They're great. But it's also like, and then the kind of pull where it's like, oh well, this kind of stuff. Um, and I think there is ways I can find and play with the pace of it. I think you're right of it being a little too fast for some parts, and I'm excited to play with this sort of contrast.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
one thing that's I can tell that you're a very good film actress
Thank you.
because you're very natural, you're very warm and like very expressive. What translates really nicely to theater is that you can very easily step on stage and the trap that a lot of people can fall into is you feel like you have to speed up or to get through it. Whereas on stage, some of the best parts are where you just take something and you milk it. And you're
Mhm.
just, don't be afraid to, you can come out here and say a completely different monologue and I will never expose you. I'll never be
No.
like, she's not saying it right. She's not saying it exactly as I wrote it. And you can get out there and just literally be there for 30 seconds, be like, hmm, like you can do that on stage in a way that's it's not tedious on stage, whereas on film it might be. But
Mhm.
yeah, you can really milk and elongate a lot of things and just find those moments where you can just sit in it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do you want to try at least the first couple lines again and see how?
Sure.
Yeah, don't be afraid to breathe. Take it slow.
I love my family. Really, they're great. They're wonderful, and I hate them.
Mhm.
My
I'm gonna
mom,
pause you
my
for a moment.
sure.
For even the first line with "I love my family." How long can you hold that sentence? So even if you take a breath beforehand and just breathe out, just try that first line again. And I want to see what happens when you just really settle on it.
I love my family. Really, they're great. They're wonderful. And I hate them.
That's good. The interesting thing is that the lines themselves are you're still rushing through them, but now you're leaving more space in between the lines. So I'm
Hmm.
just like, oh, okay. Uh, it's working in a different direction.
Hmm.
But I think one of my biggest questions in this is, have you decided who you're talking to with this monologue?
No, I haven't thought about that yet.
Fair. Who do you think you could be talking to that would make this make sense?
That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe a
Because
therapist?
a therapist, I think, is an excellent choice because
Mhm.
with therapy, you have unlimited freedom to go as big as you want. Whereas
Yes.
it would be different if you're talking to like a new boyfriend or a best friend or even a cousin or even if you're talking to your sister or something. It will color everything in this monologue based off of how you know who you're talking to.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I one thing I did struggle with in my last production, I did a play called The Creature. It's a
Mm-hmm.
new play by Lex Derman. It was great. I did it while I was in school. One thing my director really kind of pierced me about was my speed. And I think and plays are so different compared to like, just monologues and pieces you present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But with this play, she wanted it to, be a quicker pace, and then like the more we keep that pace, the more significant our pauses are. And I think I took a lot of pauses because I was like, oh, like I knew a lot of my lines were significant. At least they were to me because I personalized, I did work on it, and I studied the whole play, and it was just like I wanted to kind of have that like that moment, but I took too many, and my director was like, you really need to speed this up. So I think I'm kind of struggling with like notes directors give me, I should apply to like everything,
Of
you
course.
know? So like, and I think it's good to like that I got to um like play with this monologue with a quicker speed. But I think you're right. I think this is more um like if I just sit into more of these lines, it would give more, if that makes
Yes.
any sense.
No, I think you're making a lot of sense right now. When we get a lot of direction, we sometimes think that it'll apply to everything. But what's great about those directions is that they're actually just giving you different file folders to kind of keep in your repertoire and be
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm going to try it with this context and open it up and see how it works and then put it back and then try something else and see how it works and put it back. And there's nothing wrong with applying any filter you want to any of this speech. You can make it fast, you can make it slow. I can understand her when there's a really quick play. Sometimes the best thing to do is to have like those pauses are where the jokes happen.
Right. Mhm.
Like Gilmore Girls, which might be a dated reference right now, but like very fast talking, very speedy, and then those moments where they take the break, that's kind of the punchline. But
Yes.
yeah, anytime you're dealing with high witticism, you'll notice there's a lot of those really, really quick bits and then the moments where you can kind of settle. With this, when you have a monologue like this, it really is just you and the stage. So
Mhm.
everything that's been given to you, when you try it with all these different lenses, you're able to kind of pull the parts from the different areas that work really well, or you can even be like, oh, I like this, I'm going to hold on to this. I like this, I'm going to hold on to this, and
Mhm.
then kind of go from there.
Yes.
But yeah, you have the great thing is you have a lot of room to play with this, a lot of room.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of fun. And what you're doing is great. And I think that at this point, you can just kind of have permission to play, do different things. I always tell people it's just like the best thing you can do is be stupid because stupid makes me laugh.
I
So,
agree.
yeah. And because this is a comedy, this isn't like a super haha happy comedy on the surface.
Right.
the comedy kind of comes from what's going on under the surface
Mhm.
because nothing is more funny than its opposite. It's just like those moments where you see someone about to cry and they're just like, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's great. Everything is fine. I love so much fun. I'm having fun. Like that's funny because you're watching someone struggle. And
Right.
so with this one, if you're telling everyone, it's just when you're just like, I love my family so much. They're
Yeah.
great.
I
Like,
yeah.
yeah, you can. I do actually love my family. I feel like I need to iterate this a couple
Right.
times just so this cannot be taken out of context.
My grandfather is planning to come up and come on September 20th, come and see me. And he's gonna see this, and I feel the need to just be like, this is what he wrote for me. I didn't tell him anything about my family before this. I promise. I love you guys so much.
Yeah, this is where he told this is his problems. This is not my problems. This is his
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah.
No, I think that you have something really fun here. Are there any of the characters or pieces that you're having struggles with? Like, is there any parts that, like, if you want me to change it to brother, I can.
I, no, no, I don't. I no, I like that. I don't. I mean,
I will
um,
clarify that my sister is actually a lot. So this is 100% based up. The part with the sister, might be more accurate. I can say this because she'll never listen to this podcast. But yeah, there is a muchness to her character. So that's just coming straight from truth. But
I,
if you have a
sorry.
brother, I was gonna say like you can change it to brother. I can adjust it to you if you want. It's just kind of where you're feeling with it.
I think we keep it at the moment because I mean I like I it's the way I can kind of picture your sister in a sense like that. So I like that. I want to keep it there and like
Yeah.
yeah.
My sister is lovely. She is lovely. She is much, but she is lovely.
Mhm.
I love my family.
Yeah.
Wait, no, my partner just rolled his eyes at me, which kind of tells everything. So we're uh
Like, yeah. No, I mean I don't really I kind of don't have a preference actually. I might try it with both
do
and
it.
let you know. So I just I want to know because I do want to have a clear vision of yes, who I'm talking to, and when when I mention certain things about my mom, my dad, my sister, I want to be able to picture like an image of. I mean, I'm sort of like I want to daydream and kind of imagine what I'm talking about. So if it works with my brother, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll try both and I'll let you know.
for sure. But yeah, there's a lot here uh there's a lot here to play with for sure. So even the
Definitely.
part where you're just like, my dad is great. Oh, God, he's so smart and intelligent and always right. Wing. There's moments where you can kind of let things pause and yeah.
I agree. No, I'm very excited to play with this.
Sorry, there was just a little wanted to pause for that noise part, but that's okay. You're okay.
Oh Lord. Sorry.
Uh yeah. So did you have any additional questions for me in regards to the piece or
Not really. I think that just that first question I asked was really the only one I had.
no, I think it's great. There's a lot here and I'm happy to work with you again on it if you have any additional questions or concerns. But yeah, I think that this is going to turn out. I think you've got something really fun here, and I hope that I've given you lots to play with.
You so have. I think I did was kind of struggling with the comedic part for a minute.
Hmm.
I'm very excited to play with that.
Yeah. Well, once you like the reason why this is a comedy again is just not because it's outwardly funny. It doesn't have a lot of jokes in it, except for the right wing part. I feel like that's a pretty good one.
That's
But
funny.
uh the tension really comes from just you're trying to be so happy and pleasant and the frustration bubbles out. So yeah,
Mhm.
knowing where that starts, knowing where that is, it gives you a lot to play with for sure. So
Mhm. I agree. Well,
all
thank you
right,
so much.
of course. Well, I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Yes.
And as a question, are there any places people can find you online if they want to follow your progress?
Sure. I have my Instagram is Alice KM period underscore. I'll
I'll,
probably be posting a lot about this on there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you have any other upcoming shows or events you'd like to plug?
I do have. I mentioned it earlier. I have a feature film coming out sort of soon-ish. There's our premiere is on December 20th, and it's called the film's called Black Hawk. It's on NC Clark's YouTube page. He's from
Okay,
North Carolina. If you go on there, you'll see all his little trailers he's made of the film and like little clips he's put together for us. And I'm pretty sure the film will be on there when it comes out. So yeah,
super cool. I can't wait to see it.
thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you for spending time with me. We'll be in touch, obviously, and we look forward to meeting you officially in person on the 20th.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
All right. Very nice to meet you, Alice. Bye.
Bye.